Sweatshop is a term that was coined in Britain and also used in North America at a time when work was 60 hours long, wages low and conditions miserable. However, there is no single agreed upon definition of what a sweatshop is. Fine clothing has always been expensive, but between 1830 to 1850, as the Industrial Revolution gave way to the Second Industrial Revolution, sweatshop production was replaced with lower skilled workers. Social reality is constantly changing for our society, including children. The major process which generates change are unfortunately controlled and guided by those who have access to sufficient power, both globally and locally. Even some of the most leading economists in the past have persuaded powerful people like President Clinton to ram global and North American trade pacts through Congress. Another economist, Jeffrey D. Sachs, is another one who claims the maintenance of substandard labour conditions is clearly supported by economic theory. He believes the overwhelming mainstream view among economists is that growth of this kind of employment is tremendous good news for the world's poor. From this, I do not allow what I see in the labour conditions of developing nations. This man is focusing on the overall improvements in economic welfare for our society. Economists are ultimately trying to describe human behaviour. An advantage might actually be starting to talk to these children themselves, instead of using scientific approaches. It is sickening knowing that these people have an influence on subjecting children to backbreaking and mind-numbing labour. Any person deserves better conditions. Children and people are being influenced or manipulated by these global forces. In every country of the world there are sweatshops. Subjecting children to work 12-hour work days, 7 days a week. It is alleged that Chinese workers are also harshly punished to maintain productivity. This proves that child labour, harsh discipline and abuse are clearly prominent features of childhood. From this evidence, it seems to me that we are very against children when we fail to treat them with respect. Children need to be loved and nurtured. They need to be heard and have their views taken into account, such as the acceptance of the Convention of the Rights of a Child within these countries. Children are regarded as labourers and providers of additional income, working their whole life in sweatshops. This labels children. Children with lack of power places them in a very weak position. Bangladesh is yet another country where children are engaged in various types of economical activity instead of being children. In February and March 2006, a garment factory collapsed and left over 100 workers dead. However, Bangladesh are supposedly trying to combat child labour. Although they have a low level of awareness about the fundamentals of civil rights. Children here have to find time to play. The right to play should be an easily applicable right. It is self-directed, yet the legislation that protects these children is not parallel to the legislation that protects us. These children need to be protected whilst working in such terrible conditions. This could be one reason why employers hire children, because they are not aware of their rights and therefore they suffer significantly. We might even consider ourselves a conscious shopper at times because we look at prices on labels when out shopping. But do we ever consider where they were made or in what conditions? There is a huge connection between us and children working in factories in Bangladesh. Thousands of children in the UK buy or are bought night trainers. Some children may even have them stolen. In the long run, this causes a moral panic in our country. Some children in Bangladesh working long hours in sweatshops may be seen as causing exploitation within our country. We're supposed to have a greater knowledge and be better equipped to understand the enormous problems facing these children in sweatshops. Instead, we blame the children at the very moment when real problems demand careful consideration. Child labour within sweatshops relates very much to our global situation. Children are subject to extreme exploitation because our money gives approval to the business practices around the world. These people who created a situation that allows sweatshops to thrive. The global economy has also resulted in severe environmental damage. It is unfortunate that women and children are often identified as vulnerable groups. They are seen as worthless. These people are present victims of poverty, which is a common feature for a child living and working in terrible conditions as they pass through various stages of childhood. According to the Sunday Times, an article called "The Billionaire in Sweatshops" interviewed a Bangladesh woman who worked in a sweatshop. She said, "I am tired at the end of the day. I miss my family, especially my son. I've been working here for 4 months. When I go to bed at the end of the day, I lay down and weep. They are getting cheap labour." We need to realise what this woman is saying and use our knowledge and practice in which the needs and rights of children no longer have to be constantly argued and are regarded as normal and valued goals for our society and its members. Children within these countries live in a world of poverty. It is evident that their futures are very bleak. It seems that children will always work because of this global force which dictates their childhood.